what's going on, guys? This is Edward Redux, and since I'm still kind of figuring out all the equipment that I use for these videos, this one's actually going back, I'd like to revisit a series that I used to do, that I kind of abandoned for some reason, called Red Stories, where I tell stories from my past, things that actually happened to me, things that I've dealt with, and I want to do that since I'm still figuring out, all the equipment and stuff for doing YouTube. It's a lot of work. I have to get used to using these cameras, and this itself is a test video, so I'm going to use this to train myself. But yeah, so recording at 8K. Let's get started with the story. So I watched a video from like the Banter podcast where they talked about George just dropping out of school, which is kind of misleading. He didn't really drop out. He just like switched schools and then graduated and then went to college and then graduated that with a degree at like the highest level. So that the title is really misleading, but anyway. So my dropout story. I didn't finish high school. I didn't even finish college. And really those two should be the other way around. I didn't finish college and I didn't even finish high school. So let me start with the college one, because that's easy. Basically, I was going to a community college, the one in Gilroy here called Gavelin. I did not do well, but the problem really was that I kind of knew everything that I kind of needed to already in the field that I was studying, which was digital photography, digital videography and stuff. Kind of already knew everything I needed to know, before getting my hands on an actual camera and doing what I do, which I'm still learning how to do. You can't learn that from a class. You have to experiment on your own with that to really learn, all the stuff about a camera, because each camera is different. And the settings you need to use in every scene is different. So, it takes a lot of trial and error. So I wasn't really going to learn much there in that class that I didn't already know before, using a camera like this, using a camera in full manual mode. There's a whole bunch of basics, but that wasn't really the focus. The focus seemed to be like cinematography level stuff, like really weird theory. I don't even know how to explain it. It didn't seem like I'd ever have to use that information, and I still maintain that I probably wouldn't ever use it. As opposed to the stuff that, is taught in math in high school, which you generally actually would use. Like, even in photography, like, there's a lot of math that goes into how cameras are designed. I actually plan to get into that. So that would have been useful to have, but I'm probably just going to have to learn that from scratch. That's pretty much all that happened with college, because I kind of just stopped doing assignments. So I probably failed the class, which is fine, because I intended to quit anyway, because I wasn't going to learn anything that I didn't already know that I needed to know. So I dropped out, and I just started, making stuff, doing what I do best. So so on that note, let's turn the clock back a little bit to high school. So when I was in high school, I think like everyone else, I got put in there at age 14, so that's 9th grade. And being in the autism program, the teachers were more gentle than if I were in a different environment, like in one of the other classrooms. However, it wasn't enough, because in the first year of high school, that was so far the hardest year of school I'd ever had, because I just couldn't learn the subject material. It wasn't getting through into my head, and I was having a real hard time doing any of it. And I'm not really sure why. It probably was a combination of the stress I was going through for some reason, the medication I was on, and the fact that I just wasn't eating right. I was 70 pounds when I was 15, so that'll tell you. I mean, this is when I was 14, but I was still like 70 pounds, 75 pounds. I just wasn't eating like I should. And that's because, every morning I would wake up, and before I would go to school at bleeding crack of dawn 7:30, I would try to have some food, and often I would just get so sick that I would just throw it up. It would just come back up, and that's how that was. It was definitely not a great time for me, and more than that, there was actually other stuff going on, but I'm not going to talk about that. It's not really relevant, but anyway, yeah, I wasn't eating properly, and I wasn't absorbing a lot of the nutrients of what I was actually eating. So yeah, my brain wasn't really working correctly. I was still playing Minecraft every single day. I was still having fun in my life. But my life was just very, very not great at the time because of having to go to school. And that, you could say that about any kid, but except for a few. But for me, going to school meant getting extreme morning sickness, throwing back up my food, going to school hungry, and then, because I was like out of time, and then not learning anything for 6 hours straight, just being really bored, but still trying, like I was trying. And then, like, what does one do at that point? Just go home and play video games for the rest of the day, because, well, I couldn't do the homework, so. So that was 9th grade. So when I was 15, I moved schools to a new school called Leland. Not a new school per se, but a new school for me. I transferred there. I was a bit more social in this school, talked with some more people in my class, and actually reconnected with someone that I had been really good friends with in freaking middle school. And his name is Ryan, and you guys probably know him if you've watched my videos for a year or so. Or a couple of years, I don't know. When was the last time I made a video with Ryan? We need to do more of those, but anyway. I reconnected with him, and I remember exactly how that went. If you guys want to hear that story, then of course leave a like and subscribe. But anyway, so I was a lot more, social, but I still, I was having health issues. I still wasn't able to concentrate on the schoolwork or the homework, no matter what I did. And I think this was a combination of, meds, like my meds. They had too many freaking side effects, and just not eating right, which was also kind of because of my meds. But I was still going home and, playing Minecraft for, 8 hours every day. So I was definitely doing stuff in my life, just not stuff that, a normal kid would be doing or could do. And the teachers at this new place were a little bit more patient than the last school I was at, but, they still, have their moments. But anyway, at this point, my health was still, declining. I still couldn't concentrate, so eventually I just kind of stopped caring. I just kind of stopped trying. I was getting there at like 10:30 because I just couldn't get going in the morning, and I just wasn't getting ready fast enough to, get there at, bleeding frickin' 7:30. I think actually the time was 8 that I had to get there. It wasn't 7:30 anymore because this is a new school, but I still was getting there around 10:30 a.m. So a couple hours later than I should have been. Honestly, I shouldn't have been going at all anyway because I couldn't learn anything. I wasn't learning anything. Couldn't pay attention. I was miserable. I was just getting more miserable. Yeah, so eventually I just decided I'm not going anymore. This is not working. I'm not learning anything. This is a waste of my time and energy. I need to figure out what the hell's wrong with me before I do any more of this. And as it turns out, I actually did kind of find out what was wrong with me, but only a couple years later. So when I was 15, about 2/3 towards the end of the this school year at Leland, I just stopped going. Yeah, so I didn't go back another year. I kind of just played Minecraft all day and did whatever I wanted for the next couple of years until I turned 18. Because when I turned 18, I just stopped taking all of my medication because I didn't think it was doing me any good. And as it turns out, I was 100% correct about this. In fact, it was actually causing pretty much all of the problems that I'd been experiencing. The sickness, the tiredness, the not sleeping, just everything was just caused by these prescription medications that I was taking for, my ADHD, my autism, my Tourette's. They were causing the Tourette's to get even worse. I was having Tourette's seizures. There's a term for it, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I was having those, in a high stress situation. Like when I was arguing with my mom, and my point wasn't getting across. I would have a Tourette's syndrome seizure kind of thing. And, I was taking medication for all those things, and it was just making them worse. So I just decided, I'm just gonna quit cold turkey. I'm just gonna stop. And the day I turned 18, that's what I did. And I haven't regretted it. But to be honest, no one should do that. If I'm not gonna, say that I wasn't wrong in this way of doing this. You should always talk to your doctor before you do that shit, especially if you're on, or pretty much only if you're on prescription medication. I don't think it matters for any of the over-the-counter stuff. Like, if you're taking prescription meds, don't quit cold turkey unless you talk to your goddamn doctor. I did because I was desperate and I felt like I had nothing to lose. So I did it, and it pretty much fixed all my problems. And eventually I started doing stuff again until I was 19. And when I turned 19, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to go back to school because I feel like I could actually learn stuff now. I could actually do the work. I could actually get my freaking diploma. Because, I dropped out after 2 years. So I looked into it, and it turns out that when I was 18, I probably could have gone back, but by the time I turned 19, no, that's too late. That apparently violates a whole bunch of different codes and laws and shit, so yeah, that wasn't happening. So that was fairly disappointing. I see why, I can't do that. What was I thinking? But there are programs, apparently, that, I could get what's called a GED, which I can't remember what it's called. It's like General Education Certificate or something. I might go for one of those in the future, or I might get some technical certificates, certifications. Pretty much I'll do whatever I need to. But for now, I think I'm going to stick to YouTube, for at least a little while until, something changes. And when something changes, well, I'll, flow with the punches. That's not the term, is it? Whatever. Anyway. So, yeah, here I am, age 21. I'm going to be 22 this year in 4 months. So that's going to be, I don't know. I'm getting too old for talking. Anyway, this has been Alright Redux. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like these story type videos, this one took a lot of editing. I edited a lot of stuff out. If you want like a video of like the unedited version of the video, then subscribe and leave a like. It's very messy. You won't want to see it, but maybe you do, and if you do, there's how you get it. But yeah, so thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next live stream, short or video, whatever that may be. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. See ya.